ABC Sports came up with a kind of one-of-a-kind gimmick idea. They wanted to put a college-age announcer, close to college-age announcer, on the sidelines of the college football telecast, and there was a national talent hunt, and I was chosen from that. So I became a guinea pig for something that nobody knew whether it would work or not. And I went out and did something that had not been done before, and that ultimately led to 44 years of going from one opportunity to the next and one step to the next and putting one foot in front of the other. And eventually I landed at HBO Boxing, and the first moment that I came to this network and began covering fights here, I'd covered fights at ABC, and I knew that my destiny was boxing, and I had always wanted my destiny to be boxing, and I got started at ABC, and once I was covering fights at ABC, it only made sense to want to cover fights at the place that was doing the best boxing telecast on the air. And I'll never forget the first fight I did for HBO, February 26, 1988, in Tokyo, Japan, Mike Tyson against Tony Tubbs. And at that moment, I had 13 years as a network broadcaster. I'd been to 5 Olympics. I was a host at the Olympics already at that point. I had hosted college football for 7 years on ABC. I was a pro, and I was not supposed to get nervous. And at that first telecast for ABC in Tokyo, my hand shook on the microphone, and I was shocked. I was standing in front of the camera doing a live on camera, and I realized that my hand was shaking. And in the truck, the director had to tighten the shot so that it wouldn't be distracting for the audience that my hand shook. And when I walked away that night, I had to think to myself, why in the world did I get so nervous? And I realized that I got nervous that night because, to me, this was the Holy Grail. You know, this was, to me, as high as you could go to do boxing on HBO. To do a show where you didn't throw to commercials. To do a show where you worked with people like Larry Merchant and all the other people that I ultimately worked with. And to do a show at the television network, which is more honored for its work in more different areas than any other network in any country in the world. That was why my hand shook that night. And to this day, I never go on the air for HBO, or never have gone on the air for HBO, without reflecting that it's, to me, the highest privilege you can have in this business, to work for this company. So to have been given 30 plus years of that, and to have the right to be the person who stands here and says goodbye for this particular institution is a privilege that's beyond indescribable. And I have no right to be anything other than overwhelmingly grateful and overwhelmingly thrilled by what happened to me in my life professionally. And if I never work on the air in television again, which is quite possible, I'm cool with that, because I had a life that far